This segment brought to you by Kansas Wheat. Learn more at rediscoverwheat.org.
Hi, this is Kyle Bauer visiting with Benny Cox. He's a sheep producer from San Angelo, Texas, but he's the president of the American sheep industry. Benny, we've seen a lot of export things happen throughout the industry since the Trump administration. Has that at all, that sort of thing, been affecting the sheep industry?
Oh yeah, the China dispute's been a big problem here as of late. We've actually, since September before last, they imposed 10% tariffs when they started this China dispute, if you will. And we have lost over 80% in value of our raw wool. China was our biggest destination for exported raw wool. And our pelts have taken a big hit too, lost over 70% in value of those. Actually, a lot of these pelts at the slaughter level have been worth a lot of times in excess of $10, and now a lot of them they charge to dispose of them. So you can see how that's cost our industry. It's not just that they imposed the 10% tariff. There was also thought that they were going to do another, make it 25%. Now that hadn't happened yet, but they boycotted our wool, and so it's kind of dead in the water. But the Trump administration, have allowed monies to counteract losses, in the farming, so, in the industries. And we actually have benefited by $1.5 million to develop new export opportunities and research, and that was a big win for us. Actually, the Trump administration has done more for us than the past two administrations together,
My inclination is that the sheep and lamb industry is on an upswing and fairly healthy.
We do, I run the largest sheep and goat auction in the nation, there in San Angelo, Texas. We do cattle as well. I can assure you that the sheep and goat industries by far, I'll put it like this: we benefit from a part of the world that raise a lot of sheep and goats, and I'm sure glad in cases like this when the cattle industry being such that it is.
Mm-hmm. Is part of the high demand because of the ethnicity that's changing in the United States, or is it exports, or is everybody just discovering they like lamb?
There's been a lot of advances in the ethnic market. We actually are an ethnic-driven market now in Texas, and as you go to the Northeast, that's what you see. A real high percentage of our sheep numbers are in the West and Northwest. And that's where lots of your wool sheep are. Many of the other parts of the world, or the country, has converted over to a hair sheep, which the fibers of no value, and it's just a meat-driven market. And the consumption by the Middle Eastern people, the Muslim groups, and that have helped advance the consumption of lamb and goat, actually.
And for the foreseeable future, do you just continue to see that uptrend?
Oh yeah, I think that market will be there, will continue to be there. Of course, as you leave Texas and go to the Northeast, most all that country is privately owned lands. Where the wool sheep are in the West that I was referring to, lots of those sheep, sometime or another in the year, will be on BLM land, or, government-owned lands. And we're confronted, the activist groups that don't, that are against animal agriculture has been a big issue for us. American sheep industry's legislative, let's say, battles. We continue to work hard to counteract a lot of those claims and lawsuits and whatnot. I mean, as an organization, that's probably the best. That's the legislative fights or efforts by the American sheep industry is the best thing that we have to offer our members.
We're visiting with Benny Cox. He's from San Angelo, Texas. He's with the American sheep industry. This is Kyle Bauer reporting.
Okay, looks like it's time for our tour. Welcome to the Fort Wallace Museum. Here at the museum, you're going to find some really interesting stuff like our replica stagecoach from the Butterfield Overland Dispatch. We've got facades from the fort buildings. We've got an 1870s flag. There's a plesiosaur that was discovered locally. We've got the Ray pump organ collection. We're a little bitty place with a great big story, and we'd love to have you.